What's going on, guys? It's Picsoleated, and today we are looking at a collaborative sneaker between global sneaker company Converse and LA-based creative house Brain Dead. Now, Brain Dead is not one of those brands that comes to mind when someone mentions collaboration. They're not known for anything like that, which is why it surprises me that they had a collaboration with Converse. After the huge success of their first collab with Converse on the Chuck 70 highs, it kind of felt like a no-brainer for them to capitalize on that demand, and we'll get into that. But first, feel free to follow your boy on Insta at Picsoleated, that's at Picsoleated on Instagram for fire sneaker content and future giveaways. Join the Pics fam for all that fire and flame. The sneaker we're obviously looking at is the Converse X Brain Dead One Star. Brain Dead is an LA-based collective. They've been releasing apparel and accessories for quite a while now, but have just recently sprung into more mainstream eyes since their first collaboration with Converse. Don't get me wrong, they have gained notoriety before this, but this is just on another level. It is Converse. Converse is definitely more widely known. Truthfully, I've been eyeing some of their items for a long time and was always intrigued by their vision. The brand founder, Kyle's vision is that Brain Dead is not one person, nor is it an idea. It sits in the space between people. Now, while that does sound similar to Off-White's slogan, the gray area between black and white, just know Brain Dead has been around for a good amount of time, not super long, but long enough where they started from scratch and built their own style to be defined by, or rather not defined by. See, the thing about Brain Dead is, and it's very evident in the items they release, is that they're defined by not being defined. Their design language is pretty much that there is no design language at all, or rather no consistent design language. In the founder's own words, it's very fluid. They change by what changes around them. And it's true, go to any retailer that carries Brain Dead or go to their websites and you'll understand exactly why that is. Almost nothing is designed similarly. There are so many references and design choices that don't make sense, but just somehow happen to work on the piece that they're on. It's really just something interesting to absorb and look at. So when you ask yourself, what in the world are they doing and what in the world is Converse doing, giving these guys a collaboration where they just mindlessly mash things together on a shoe? Now you understand why. Which also goes back to the mashup of panels on their sneakers. They're not actually as random as you think. Brain Dead went back and took random patterns from Converse's archives to mash up on their sneakers. This is exactly what they do, drawing references from past subcultures to create their current designs, even in their apparel and items, so it only makes sense that they did it here too. There has been a little bit of controversy in the past for them as to whether it's considered appropriation to blatantly take inspiration like that, but I think it's a bunch of nonsense. People should be able to take inspiration from whatever they want as long as they're not being offensive or inappropriately representing anything that is significant religiously or in spiritual value to another group. But this is a sneaker review and we're not trying to get that deep. Either way, this is exactly why they had the American flag, the camouflage, and the multiple animal prints on the original Brain Dead Chuck 70s high, and is now the same reason why we have some of those same patterns on these One Stars, as these were heritage patterns in Converse's Chuck 70s archive. But before we get any deeper, let's run through the actual sneaker itself. The Converse One Star is a low-cut sneaker that debuted to overwhelmingly warm reception, kind of like warm pancakes, and is now in Brain Dead collaboration form. The Brain Dead One Star is made of an all-suede upper with multiple prints consisting of cheetah print, zebra print, and black and white polka dots, while the back of the shoes have two strips of cheetah print and zebra print. But what's unique about this print is that it seems to be painted on top of the suede upper. You can see the suede texture of the background, while the cheetah print, black zebra stripes, and polka dots are flat with the shine of the light reflecting off of it. This is a detail we don't get on the Chuck 70 highs because the entire upper was made of canvas, so the print was pretty much overlaid on the whole thing there. I really quite like this detail because it adds another layer to the upper, and now not only is it a mashup of prints, it's also a mixture of textures and materials. We have beige flat laces running through the shoe. They do feel a little stiff compared to the ones on the Chuck 70 highs. This is also my first pair of Converse One Stars ever, so if this is a common thing, let me know in the comments. I'm not really sure if it is. We have this One Star cutout on the midfoot of the shoe covered with an underlay of black canvas, and now you know where the name One Star comes from. You're welcome. We have these very comfortable ortholite cushioned insoles with something of a rough, thread-looking layered top portion. It kind of looks like what a dress shirt would be made of if like a hippie made it or something. It's sort of like a loose material. It just feels like rough threads or like strings or something like that. I'm not really sure, but it's cool nonetheless. These insoles have Converse and Brain Dead branding on them. finally, just like the Chuck 70s high, my favorite part of the shoe is this vulcanized rubber midsole with this mysterious text on it. It says, "To see and be seen as far as the eye can see. Who controls the control men? The same elsewhere." And while I can't comment on everything else, the "Who controls the control men" line kind of feels like a reference to the popular graphic novel, The Watchmen. They have a similar line where they say, "Who watches the Watchmen?" Sort of like questioning authority type of situation, and how do we know if they're really taking action in our best interests? But as far as I know, that could be a reach, who knows? Now, this shoe is definitely out there, and even though none of the prints really make sense the way they're laid out on the shoe, everything still seems to mesh well enough into a cohesive package. I'm not sure what combines them so well, but I will say these do look great on feet. I'm really impressed with how they came out. Sizing on the Converse One Star for me is a full size down. Converse in general fit huge. They really are a weird situation where I feel like the only sizing standard they follow is their own. So I'd say no matter what, go a full size down in these and a full size down in the Chuck 70 highs as well. And that's coming from a wide foot, so think about that. Now, a lot of people will be quick to compare these to the Chuck 70 highs right away, so I'll save you the trouble. There are a few key differences, but also a lot of similarities. So similarities, they come in the same box with all the same patterns from the Chuck 70 highs on them. The key difference aside from being different shoes is that the Chuck 70 highs has two patterns that the One Stars don't. The Chuck 70 highs has one panel with the camouflage pattern and one with the American flag. That is something you won't see on the One Stars. The One Stars instead opting to have the polka dot patterns and the cheetah print pattern repeating on the tongue and on the inside panels of the shoe. Who knew I'd be rocking polka dots in 2019? What the fuck? Brain dead. So that begs the question that everyone's asking, and if you're not asking, you're gonna ask after I ask it. Will the brain dead One Star live up to the Chuck 70's hype? If I'm being honest, I don't think so. The lack of those colorful American flag and camo patterns is a huge downgrade for me. I really like the Chucks, but what really sold me on the pair was the camo pattern. Yeah, literally one side panel of the shoe is what convinced me to pull the trigger on them. They were also Chuck 70s, which is my favorite Converse silhouette. But those Don C joints look sick too. Converse, if you listen and hit me up, you know what I'm saying. With this One Star pair, they took out my favorite part, the camo panel. It's hard to justify putting these on an equal plane with the Chuck 70s after that, but after wearing them, even without those panels, these shoes look amazing on feet, so they're still a great shoe. The Chuck 70s has them beat by just that little bit. I'm not normally a low top kind of guy when it comes to Converse, but these have definitely changed my mind, and with a reasonable price point like 140 Canadian dollars or 110 US dollars, they're a great and affordable option for a casual summer shoe. When the summer comes around, that is. What did you guys think about the Converse One Star? Did you cop or not? Let me know in the comments. Catch you later. Picsoleated is not brain dead yet.